You know, one of the other recommendations that I would have is that you also set standards for green energy produced by utilities. And one reason I say that in response to what you're saying here is that that's what we purchase, and we pay more for it because it's still relatively uncommon.
Senator Gore,
and if I could just
well, you can't.
If you could allow, you've asked the senator an important question. He's answering it. Give him a minute.
Is he going to stop the clock during this time?
No, I'm not going to stop the clock. He has a minute to answer. How can you ask the question and not give a man a minute to answer? Please.
Yeah, we purchase wind energy and other green energy that does not produce carbon dioxide. And that does cost a little more now, and that is one of the reasons why it costs a little more. We're also in the process of renovating an old home, and we live not far from where Lamar and Honey Alexander do, and we.
Senator Gore, you had so much more time. I'm going to have to.
Could I make one other point? Because a lot of communities actually have laws preventing the installation of solar photovoltaics.
So I assume the answer is no. Let's go to the next question.
And if I could continue, I do believe that there should be a federal provision that overrides any local restrictions.
All right, Senator Gore, I'm very sorry. I don't want to be rude, but from now on, I'm going to ask you to respond for the record in writing, since you're not going to respond.
Well, if I choose to respond to you verbally here, I hope that'll be okay, too.
If it's a very brief response. All right. I'm sure you read the New York's article that quoted the scientists. I mentioned this in my opening statement about they're criticizing you for some of your being too alarmist and hurting your own cause. Now, I'll ask you to respond in writing for that one, because that would be a very long response, I'm afraid. Now, it seems that everybody in global warming and the media joined the chorus last summer.
Senator, we'll freeze the time for a minute.
Oh, yes.
I'm just trying to make...
Take your time. We're freezing the time.
We're freezing the time. Just for a minute. I want to talk to you a minute, please. Would you agree to let the Vice President answer your questions, and then if you want an extra few minutes at the end, I'm happy to give it to you, but we're not going to get anywhere.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? At the end, you can have as much time as you want to answer all the questions. No, that isn't the rule. You're not making the rules. You used to when you did this. You don't do this anymore. Elections have consequences. Elections have consequences, so I make the rules. But here's the thing. I want you to get your questions answered. I've promised you to give you an additional 3 minutes of time. But if you will allow the chair, if I believe the Vice President is wandering into another area, I will just say that quietly, and he will, I know, move on. He knows the rules here.